Welcome everyone. Today we are going to discuss on a subject on a question actually that states why do people get angry? We want to talk about people getting angry today. Before we delve into the details, I would like to tell you, my viewers, that in the next few weeks, 3, 4, 5 weeks, we are going to deal with this subject of anger. We're going to look at it scripturally, going to look at it in our own, spheres of influence, etc. But today we are going to tackle this question that states, why do people get angry? I have 5 reasons as to why people get angry. The first reason is few people want to admit that they get angry. That is one of the major reasons. Few people want to admit that they do not get angry. Anger is the other side of love. So whereas love draws you towards the other person, anger sets you against the other person. Anthropologists, they have done research, and they have discovered that anger is discovered in all societies throughout the world. The second point is that anger is always stimulated by an event. This means you cannot just sit there and say, well, I will experience anger. There must be an event preceding, or that gravitates you towards anger. The third point is that anger is a cluster of emotions that involves such feelings as embarrassment, hurt, disappointment, and most importantly, rejection. Now, before we go to the fourth point, I just want to elaborate this a little bit. Basic psychology states that there's what we call the adrenaline glands. The adrenaline glands produces 2 hormones. Namely, the first hormone is called epinephrine, and the other one is called norepinephrine. These 2 hormones, give people what we call the arousal, the tenseness, the heat of anger. So people get angry as a result of these 2 hormones. The fourth point is anger is evidence that we are created in man's image, in God's image. Sorry. It demonstrates that we still have that concern for justice and righteousness, despite us being fallen creatures, or despite us in spite of a fallen estate. Now let me just cite a few examples. Number one, the first example is Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., in my view, after extensive studies, I believe was angry because of the oppression because of racial prejudice and discrimination during his time. And of course, we know what happened later. Yeah, he started a movement where it spread all across Europe and until today, until recently in the States. The second example, coming back to Kenya, we have in the early 90s, we had leaders, political leaders, who were actually fighting for second liberation struggle, and they were angry because of the oppression of the state then. Leaders like James Aggrey Orengo, who is a current senator of Siaya, Dr. Willy Mutunga, former Chief Justice, and others. They were angry because of the oppression that the state, because the state wanted to rule with an iron fist. Yeah, the state had dictatorial tendency because it was a one-party state. Coming back to the scriptures, we have Hannah. Hannah, in my view, was angry because she didn't have a child as compared to Penina. But she used her anger wisely and well, to the extent that God answered her prayers. That's why I said earlier that anger, there must be an event before anger comes in. There must be an event before anger comes in. The other example is found in Jesus Christ in Mark chapter 3 verses 1 to 5, where Jesus Christ was healing a man with a withered hand. in front of the Pharisees. And the Bible says, especially, specifically in verse 5, that Jesus Christ was angry because of the state of the heart. In reference, he was referring to the Pharisees, because they didn't understand, they didn't have the whole picture of what Jesus was doing and why he healed. So finally, the fifth point is that the express of anger is evidence of our nobility, not depravity. So as I've said earlier in this show or this video, we will continue to discuss more about anger. But today I just wanted to give you 5 points of why people get angry. So do not forget to subscribe to my channel. And in case of any questions, feel free to ask me in any page, whether Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. It will appear on the screen. Feel free to ask me even in the comment section of my channel. Thank you very much, and God bless you all.